Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful week, and thanks for tuning into the video. Here we have a COLONIES MY-ANTICS colony that has pink water. This whole video is just going to be me maintaining on the weekly maintenance colonies. I'm going to hopefully be able to teach you guys a thing or two about meddling around in your colony's test tubes, especially when they start to build up workers. So the main thing you always want to remember is to be delicate, move slow, and try your best not to lose or hurt any of your ants. Without further ado, let's move them into their new test tube. I'm going to start off by going right in with a ballsy move and try to grab as much as their brood as I can. With the queen on me, that might be a little difficult, but let's see what I can accomplish here. There we go. Yep, I got a 2 for 1. I added most of the brood, and now the queen has touched down in her new tube. This is the part when you want to definitely put a cotton over the new test tube. Let's see, got another cotton. I've talked about it in the past, but this is really when loose cotton comes in handy. They're not going to recognize the test tube, so you really do got to go one by one, try to worm your way in, and do your best to get them all into their new test tube without any escapes. Now, obviously, the hardest thing to pick up with a paintbrush, and I'll admit it, is the little tiny brood itself. They're so small, and you really got to have a good sense of how to pick them up, especially when you're not used to doing this. As I've said before, a good way to calm them down is to definitely add some honey, and this is going to distract them from their new test tube manures, especially because they haven't eaten all week, and that's basically why we're maintaining them to begin with. Get on in there, little girl. Here we go. Alright, we got 3 in and about halfway of the brood. There's some more mature brood in the back. I always say go one by one if you have to. Don't ever rush this. When you rush, that's when things go really bad, and you just want to take your time, find all the brood, pick it up, pick the workers up, and get them into their new home. There's a little bit of garbage. Alright, come on, little lady. Get on, little auntie. Alright, cool. Here's a COLONIES castanus. Beautiful species. Kind of hard to focus. There we go. We're going to go in and clean these little ladies up. They got some debris on the inside of their test tube, so I'm going to take a little piece of paper towel, square it up, and grab it with the tweezers. Then, I'm going to take it, spray it one time to get it a little bit damp, and we're going to go in and wipe down the walls of the test tube. Let me spray it one more time. Alright, so you're probably going to freak out, but you want to get in back, you want to try to get all of the grime and the sludge and all of the decaying food that you left in the last time you fed them. You know, obviously they're not going to be too happy about it, but this is the best way to keep their test tube clean, and it gives you a chance to really maintenance the little bits of debris that they leave. There we go. If you take a close look at the cotton, you can see that we did pick up a bunch of stuff, so that's good. Next, we want to make sure they have water just by lightly poking on their cotton. There we go. We got a little girl decided to come out and say hello, I guess. Let's try to get her back into her test tube. There we go. Alrighty, and it's time to give him a little bit of honey. This week it's blue. Alright, we got a Novaboracensis campanatus species here, and there, as you can see, their test tube is just gunked up completely. So let me make a new test tube for these girls real quick. Alright, so normally I would try to get the food that they have in the back of their test tube, but because we're moving them, we're just going to start scooping up their brood and slowly moving them into their new test tube. Wow, these ladies actually have a lot of brood, a lot of cocoons. These girls might actually be ready for a nest a lot sooner than I thought. I'm seeing 4 cocoons. Bunch of mature brood. Oh, there's even more in the back. That's the one thing that you gotta remember when you do start doing manual movements. They try to put the brood as far back as they can. They don't know if you're there to move them or eat them, or there's 100 different scenarios. And though you can build a bond with your ants, they'll always be a little bit finicky, especially when you're moving them into a new place. Like this girl right here, she's trying to take her test tube. I mean, her brood back into her old test tube. Alright, so, still got a little bit of brood left in the back. Let me see if I can pick this up.
Later that night.
Lastly, let's give these girls a little bit of food, a little bit of protein, and we're good to go. Yeah, these girls are gonna grow fast. It'd be really, really exciting to see how big they get in 1 year. Alright guys, for right now that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something along the way. Next week we're going to be back in the ant room, so it's something to look forward to all week long. You all have a wonderful night, and as always, happy ant keeping.